It seems you're referring to an ancient Indian civilization or people, but ancient doesn't correspond to any known group or tribe in historical records. It's possible that you meant ancient Indians or a particular historical or ethnic group from ancient India. I'll provide an overview of an ancient Indian civilization, focusing on its life cycle, customs, and significant aspects. Let me know if this aligns with what you're looking for. The story of ancient Indian people and their life cycle. Ancient India, one of the world's oldest civilizations, is a land rich with history, culture, and spiritual wisdom. The people of ancient India lived in diverse regions, including the Indus Valley Civilization, Vedic societies, and later, kingdoms like the Mauryas and Guptas. Their lives revolved around cycles of birth, growth, learning, family, work, and spiritual practices. Here's a glimpse of how their life cycle might have unfolded. 1. Birth and early childhood. In ancient India, the birth of a child was considered a sacred event. The birth of a child was celebrated with rituals and prayers, invoking blessings from deities for the child's health and prosperity. The rites of passage were also influenced by the family's social class and caste. 1. Infancy. The early years were marked by care and nurturing, with the mother taking a primary role. 1. During this time, the child would learn basic social and cultural norms, often through stories and teachings passed down by the family. 2. Naming ceremony. After birth, a naming ceremony, called namkaran, was often performed, in which the child would be given a name that reflected auspicious meanings or family lineage. 2. Education and training. Upanayana. As children grew, they began their formal education. The ancient Indian educational system was deeply tied to the guru-shishya, teacher-student, tradition. 1. Boys. At a young age, boys were initiated into learning through a ceremony called Upanayana, where they received the sacred thread and began their studies, often under the guidance of a guru. 1. In the Vedic period, the primary subjects were the Vedas, mathematics, astronomy, and ethics. 2. Girls, depending on the region and family, could either be educated at home or within their community. 2. Many women played important roles in preserving knowledge, particularly in the realms of music, dance, and the arts. 3. Adolescence and marriage. Adolescence was the time when young people were prepared for adulthood through social and spiritual rites. 1. Marriage. Marriage was one of the most important milestones in an ancient Indian's life. 1. It was typically arranged by the parents, and the ceremonies varied depending on the region and caste. 1. Marriage marked the beginning of an individual's responsibility to family, community, and societal values. 1. It was often seen as a lifelong commitment, with sacred vows taken before fire, Agni, the most revered element in Vedic rituals. 2. Rites of passage. The transition to adulthood involved participating in religious rituals, festivals, and community activities, learning to manage household duties, and cultivating personal and spiritual growth. 4. Family life and dharma. After marriage, the next stage of life for most people involved settling into family life, building a home, and raising children. 1. Roles in family. Men typically became breadwinners, often working in agriculture, trade, or learning specific trades, while women managed the household, raised children, and helped maintain cultural traditions. 1. However, women were also involved in religious ceremonies and could inherit property in certain periods. 2. Dharma, duty. The concept of dharma, one's duty in life according to one's role in society, was central to ancient Indian life. 2. It shaped everything from how people interacted with their families to how they interacted with the world. 5. Old age and renunciation. sannyasa. The later stages of life were often characterized by spiritual growth and reflection. People in ancient India followed the ashrama system, which outlined 4 stages of life. 1. Grihastha, householder. During this phase, one focused on family, work, and contributing to society. 2. Vanaprastha, retirement. As individuals entered old age, they began to withdraw from worldly duties, giving more attention to spiritual practice, often retreating to forests or quiet areas to meditate and reflect. 3. Sannyasa, renunciation. The final stage, sannyasa, was about renouncing material life completely in pursuit of moksha, liberation. 3. Many sought to leave behind family responsibilities, possessions, and worldly pleasures to devote themselves solely to meditation and spiritual practice. 6. Death and afterlife. In ancient India, death was not seen as an end but a transition to the next phase of existence. Many people believed in the concept of reincarnation, where the soul moves from one body to another based on accumulated karma, actions. 1. Funeral rites. Funeral ceremonies were important for ensuring that the deceased soul found peace and moved on to its next life. 1. The body was typically cremated, and rituals were performed by close family members, led by priests. 1. The rites ensured a smooth passage to the afterlife and honored the deceased's contributions to their family and society. 2. Karma and rebirth. The cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, was central to ancient Indian spiritual beliefs. 2. One's actions in life, karma, determined the circumstances of their next life. Cultural contributions and philosophy. Throughout their lives, people of ancient India contributed greatly to art, philosophy, literature, and spirituality. The Vedas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, and Ramayana are some of the most important texts from ancient Indian culture that reflect its worldview, spiritual practices, and life principles. 1. Religion and spirituality. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism emerged from ancient Indian philosophy, each offering unique perspectives on life, suffering, and liberation. 2. Art and science. Ancient Indians made remarkable advancements in mathematics, like the concept of zero, astronomy, and architecture. 2. The famous temples and monuments across India are evidence of their sophisticated understanding of design and structure.